My name is Kenya Matthews, and I am a criminal defense attorney. For the past decade, I have stood in courtrooms defending people society has already condemned, thieves, drug dealers, even men accused of beating their wives. I know how the system bends for the powerful and breaks the vulnerable. I've learned to read lies in a man's posture, to spot the flicker of guilt behind rehearsed tears. But nothing prepared me for the day my identical twin sister walked into my downtown office looking like she had been dragged through hell. It was a Wednesday afternoon in late autumn. The sky outside my window was the color of old bruises. Kesha, my other half, pushed open the glass door so slowly it barely chimed. When she stepped into the light, I froze. Her left eye was swollen shut, purple and black, the lid split like overripe fruit. Her lip was twice its normal size, crusted with dried blood. Finger-shaped marks wrapped around her throat like a grotesque necklace. She wore a long-sleeved hoodie despite the unseasonable warmth, but I could see the edge of a burn peeking from her cuff, cigarette, probably, and rope burns circling her wrists. She looked 20 pounds lighter than the last time I'd seen her, 3 years earlier at our mother's funeral. Her once bright eyes were dull, haunted. "Kenya," she whispered, voice cracked. "Don't call the police. Please. He'll kill me." I crossed the room in 3 strides and pulled her into my arms. She flinched at first, instinct, then melted against me, sobbing silently. I held her the way we used to hold each other as children during thunderstorms, 2 halves of the same soul trying to become one shield. Kesha and I had been inseparable growing up. Identical in every way, same deep brown skin, same high cheekbones, same full lips, same husky laugh. We finished each other's sentences, swapped clothes without asking, pranked teachers by trading places in class. Our mother used to say we were proof that God made mistakes twice on purpose, just to double the joy. After college, life pulled us apart. I moved to the city, climbed the ladder at a prestigious firm, became partner at 30. Kesha stayed in our hometown, became an elementary school teacher, married Marcus Johnson, a pharmaceutical sales rep with a dazzling smile and promises that sounded like poetry. At their wedding, he lifted her veil and whispered, "I'm going to make you the happiest woman alive." I believed him. I toasted them with champagne, and told myself the distance between us was temporary. It wasn't. The abuse began quietly, the way most cancers do. 6 months after the wedding, Marcus started controlling what Kesha wore, who she spoke to, how long she stayed on the phone with me. "Your sister makes you feel small," he told her. "She thinks she's better because she has money and degrees." Kesha stopped calling as often. I chalked it up to new mother exhaustion after Aaliyah was born. Then came the silences. The excuses. The long sleeves in summer. I should have pushed harder. I didn't. 3 days before she appeared in my office, Marcus had beaten Kesha so badly she could barely stand. The trigger? Aaliyah, their 5-year-old daughter, had spilled juice on the carpet. When Kesha tried to protect her, Marcus slapped the child across the face. Kesha lunged. He threw her down, choked her until she saw stars, burned her arm with his cigarette while his mother Diane and sister Tamika watched and laughed. They stuffed a rag in her mouth so the neighbors wouldn't hear. Diane scratched her face. Tamika kicked her ribs. That was the night Kesha decided she couldn't wait for the system to save her. She drove 4 hours to me, hiding the bruises under makeup and sunglasses. Terrified Marcus would track her phone. I listened to every word. Rage built inside me like a storm. But rage without a plan is just noise. I am a lawyer. I build cases. I win. That night in my apartment, I made Kesha tea and photographed every injury. Close-ups, timestamps, scale references. I took her statement on video, her voice trembling but clear. Then I proposed the impossible. "I'm going to take your place," I said. She stared at me like I'd lost my mind. "Kenya, no. He'll kill you." "He won't touch me," I told her. "I've been boxing since law school. I know how to take a punch and give worse. You and Aaliyah stay here. Lock the doors. I'll be back in 3 days. And when I leave that house, Marcus will never hurt either of you again." Kesha cried. She begged me not to, but she also knew I wouldn't back down. Twins don't ask permission, we just act. Thursday morning, I dressed in Kesha's clothes, baggy jeans, oversized hoodie, flat shoes. I tied my hair the way she did, practiced her softer walk, her gentle voice. We looked identical. Even Marcus wouldn't know. I drove to their suburban house, heart hammering. The place looked ordinary, white siding, trimmed lawn, basketball hoop in the driveway. Inside, it felt like a prison. Diane was waiting in the kitchen, arms crossed. "You're late. Dinner better be on the table in 30 minutes. Tamika lounged on the couch, feet up. "And bring me some chips. The good ones, not that cheap crap." Aaliyah peeked from the hallway, eyes wide. When she saw me, she ran and hugged my legs. "Mommy," she whispered, as if saying it too loud would summon monsters. I knelt, kissed her forehead, fought tears. "Hey baby girl. Mommy's home." Marcus arrived at 6, reeking of whiskey and cheap cologne. He slammed his keys down. "Food cold again? You can't do one damn thing right." Diane chimed in. "She's lazy. Always has been." I set the plates down quietly. When Marcus raised his hand to slap me, I caught his wrist midair. I squeezed, hard, until I felt the bones grind. His eyes widened in shock. "Don't," I said, voice low, Kesha's gentle tone laced with steel. He yanked free, confused. "The hell's wrong with you?" I smiled sweetly. "Nothing. Just not in the mood tonight." That night, I read Aaliyah the Paper Bag Princess. She fell asleep clutching my hand, whispering, "You feel different, Mommy. Stronger." Friday morning, Marcus grabbed my arm, twisting until it bruised. I let him, knowing the hidden cameras I'd planted the night before were recording everything. Then I swept his legs in one smooth motion. He hit the floor hard, breath knocked out. He scrambled up, red-faced. "You hit me? I'm calling the cops." "Go ahead," I said calmly. "I've got 3 years of medical records, photos, videos, neighbor statements. Broken ribs, fractured wrist, cigarette burns, choke marks. And now this." I tapped my phone. "Assault with intent to cause serious harm. You'll be lucky if they don't charge you tonight." The police came. I showed them everything. They looked at Marcus with new eyes. No arrest, yet, but the warning was clear. One more incident, and he'd be in cuffs. Saturday night, Tamika's boyfriend Dre showed up, sent to teach me a lesson. He was big, tattooed, cocky. I waited until he lunged, then used a judo throw to send him crashing through the coffee table. Glass shattered. He groaned. "Tell Marcus the cameras caught that too," I said. "And the audio from last night, when you 3 discussed drugging me, faking a breakdown, and having me committed so he could get custody and divorce me quietly. Conspiracy to commit false imprisonment. Poisoning. Child endangerment. You're looking at decades." They stared, mouths open. Sunday morning, Diane tried slipping sleeping pills into my coffee. I pretended to drink, then poured it out when she turned. I lined up the evidence on the dining table. Medical files, photos, audio transcripts, Marcus's gambling debts, text threats, everything. Then I dropped the bomb. "My name is Kenya Matthews," I said. "Kesha's twin sister. Criminal defense attorney. I've spent the last 3 days documenting every crime you've committed against my sister, and now against me. You have 2 choices. Sign the divorce papers today, grant Kesha full custody, pay $3,000 a month in support for the next 10 years, transfer the house title to her name, and agree to permanent restraining orders, or face felony charges that will put all 3 of you away for 40 to 60 years combined." Marcus sobbed. Diane turned gray. Tamika cursed under her breath. They signed. I left with Aaliyah's hand in mine. We drove straight to my apartment, where Kesha waited. When Aaliyah saw her real mother, she froze, then ran into her arms. "Mommy looks happy," she said. Kesha cried tears of relief. I hugged them both. Weeks later, the house was emptied. Marcus liquidated assets to pay support. Diane declared bankruptcy. Tamika moved back with her ex. The court terminated Marcus's parental rights based on overwhelming evidence. Kesha went back to teaching, her smile returning day by day. Aaliyah made friends, laughed louder, stopped flinching at loud noises. I don't regret what I did. The system fails too many women. Abusers walk free on bail. Restraining orders become toilet paper. Courts sometimes side with money and charm over truth. I couldn't wait for justice to crawl. I brought it to them. If you're reading this and you're hurting, document everything. Photos, Dates. Witnesses. Reach out to domestic violence shelters. Make a plan. Leave when you can, even if it terrifies you. You are worth saving. And if you know someone who's fading, long sleeves in summer, excuses, isolation, ask. Directly. Kindly. Then listen. Then act. Because sometimes love looks like a twin walking into hell wearing her sister's face, ready to burn it all down so the people she loves can finally live. I'm Kenya Matthews. And if it ever happens again, I'll do it all over.